Hello, and welcome to another episode of Ask an Assistant, the podcast for executive assistants and the people that love us. I'm your host, Jess Lindgren. Let's get to work. 2025, it's here. Welcome, everybody. I really hope that you are all feeling rested, recharged, ready to rock here in the year 2025. I was able to take some time fully off. There were many days over break that I literally didn't even open my laptop, which felt great. A couple of those days were unfortunately spent being sick. When you're seeing a lot of people, we went to several holiday parties. We spent a lot of time with my mom, my brother, my sister-in-law. We're all in town from Minnesota. My sister and her family live quite close to us. So we definitely spent a lot of time seeing a lot of other people. Just kind of a really miserable cold experience, which if you listen to the last episode, you definitely got a taste of. Thanks for bearing with me through that, but I am feeling much, much better here in the new year. And again, hope all of you can say the same. I hope that you were all able to take some time off in whatever measure that was afforded to you. And that you've got a lot of exciting stuff coming up this year, because I know I sure do. So we're here with my annual housekeeping episode. Today we're going to talk about how and where you listen to the show, events that I'm working on either hosting and or participating in, which I'm really excited about, supporting my work through Patreon and or Substack, and opportunities to work with me in 2025 and beyond. So without further ado, if you are listening on Apple Podcasts as of the iOS 17 update, which at least a year ago, I'm not 100% sure which iOS we're on now, but since that update, you have to engage with the show regularly to be able to receive new episodes. So it's something like I look at my stats in Apple Podcasts, which I try really hard not to do because it's very easy to get really hung up on the numbers. But Apple Podcasts does tell you the number of people that are subscribed to the show. And I know that prior to 2024, when I was kicking out episodes here and there, or would go to Podcast Movement or other events and tell people, oh yeah, my show's coming soon, and then it just kind of never came. I have tons of people that are subscribed to the show, and those numbers do not match the downloads that different sources tell me. Again, I try really hard not to engage with those numbers because I don't know if anybody here is old enough to remember like the original blog counter widget that you could install, where you're just like, oh yeah, look at how many people visited my live journal, visited my MySpace page. Like, I think I got a lot of the obsessing about stats out of my system a long time ago because I am in my 40s. But that being said, Apple does show you, I mean, it's been a few months since I've even checked the back end of Apple, but it does show you the number of people who are subscribed, and it also shows you the number of people who are actively listening. So that's kind of a drag, like people that I met months or years or however long ago who, yeah, I'm excited about the show, who, because they haven't engaged with the show in quite some time, are not receiving those updated episodes. So if that's something, if you're enjoying what I'm putting out, I would so love it if you shared the show with your friends, with your colleagues, with anybody in the executive assistant world that you think might get a kick or some useful information out of the episodes that I'm making. I would really appreciate it. And again, if you're listening on Apple, just make sure that you're engaging, or honestly, think about a new podcasting app. Like, much as I don't love Apple deciding which shows that you get episodes from, they have added auto-generated transcripts, which I find fantastic. I am also old enough and have worked in the podcasting sphere long enough to remember having to choose a transcript app and how much we paid over the years for transcription. And as things moved from human transcription to AI transcription to now something like Apple Podcasts just adding transcripts right to the episode page, it's really great. Like, the technology, I hope we're not replacing too many human jobs with technology, but it definitely has its pros and cons, to be sure. So in addition to transcripts, Apple Podcasts, they also added a web interface this year, which if you have a Mac, I'm pretty sure Apple Podcasts won't work on a PC, but you never know. Stranger things have happened. But if you're working on a Mac, the ability to pull up Apple Podcasts and listen to the show that way, if that's what you like, makes it a lot easier. I personally still love listening on Overcast, which allows me to set a custom number of episodes per show to keep. There are some daily podcasts where if you don't keep up on them, they just pile up and get out of control. So like, I do kind of understand the iOS making you engage with the show to keep serving you up the show, but I don't know, like I subscribe to the show, so I still want you to kick me the episodes. I really appreciate it that Overcast gives you the option to set anywhere from 1 to unlimited. I think it's like 1, 3, 5, 10, and unlimited are the number of episodes. So when things pile up, you can do one of two things. If I know that there's a show that just like 1 to 7 times a week kicks out new content, I'll listen to it when I see something interesting and delete the rest. I set those to like the 5 to 10 mark. And if there's a show that I want to, that I really love, that I have it's not a bad habit, but I have a habit of just like listening to it the instant it comes out. The Bechdel cast comes to mind for me on that one. I love Jamie and Caitlin, and I'm subscribed to their Patreon. I'm subscribed to the main feed. Like, I still feel like even though they kick out 6 episodes a month, it's not enough. And so I have to listen to my regular like newsy stuff, my pop culture stuff, while it's still topical. And then I can let stuff like the Bechdel cast or You're Wrong About pile up. And then I can listen to those when I'm ready, or when my pop culture stuff is taking a break, or when I need a change of pace from news and pop culture. So that's a really nice feature of Overcast if that's something that you're interested in. You can also set custom speed settings, which is really fun. You can either set just like a default. My favorite is the pause skipping. So it's kind of like an auto smart feature. If you've ever worked in podcasting, audio, broadcasting, TV, whatever, and you've seen a waveform, I think, whatever an audio file is called. And you can see the long pauses, the long stretches where there's nothing happening on the music. Overcast has a really great feature where it will just shorten those pauses, and you can set that to be kind of an overarching default setting to be the auto skip pauses, or you can also set like per show. So you can go in and just say, okay, for show A, I really want to listen to that on 1.25 speed. Show B, they talk so slow, I'm going to put them up to 1.5 or 1.7. And I think it goes all the way up to like 3 times speed. I don't know who's speed running podcasts, but the customization is really nice. And the ability to set it show by show or just an overall default is incredible. For my show, it does mess with the intro and outro music, which I am hoping to fix in 2025. There is a pause, like after the dun 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 dun. There's supposed to be a little pause there, and on Overcast, it skips the pause and just goes right into the second set of beats. So if you listen on Overcast or something with smart speeds, or you're listening to it on 1.25 or higher, you wouldn't notice anyway. But I notice, and I am hoping to fix that. But again, still totally worth it. I love the customization, and I love it that when you subscribe to a show, the app doesn't decide to just stop serving you new episodes, which is really nice. I have noticed too that Spotify is gaining a lot of ground. Shows that I love that have maybe tens or hundreds of reviews on Apple Podcasts, they have thousands, if not tens of thousands of reviews on Spotify. I did a little poking around in the app earlier today, and it looks like Spotify doesn't do text reviews. Like there's not a differentiator between just like tapping 5 stars or maybe like a review that has text around it. Excuse me, carrying a little bit more weight. It looks like it's just straight star ratings. And then you can also leave comments on individual episodes, which I don't know if I'm fully on board with that. I am hoping to do a little more digging into Spotify for podcasters, like the back end of it, to see if I have to moderate comments. Like, can I turn them on or off? Do I have to say yes or no to every comment? Can I take something down if it's super offensive? Like, I'm not 100% sure how I feel about a podcast episode basically being treated like a blog post. Like, that's a really interesting development to me. It was also very interesting to see that Spotify now has video podcasts. So you can like watch a podcast in the Spotify app, I guess. I don't know. There's a lot for me to learn there. The last place I'm going to suggest that you listen and or watch, if you are so inclined, like if it's something where you have a PC instead of a Mac, you can listen to the episodes on YouTube. Episodes every week are automatically updated via RSS to the YouTube channel. The channel is at Jess Lindgren. I believe it's youtube.com/@Jess Lindgren. And they just automatically are uploaded and show up under the podcast tab. Shifting gears just a little bit, I'm going to be doing several events this year. On January 30th, I am co-hosting a virtual event with Jeremy Burrows of the Leader Assistant podcast fame. We're going to be talking about recognizing, resisting, and recovering from burnout. You can find a link to that event to get further information and register if you are so inclined in the show notes. I'll be linking that there. If you follow me on LinkedIn, you can also see that information in one of my latest posts. In late March or early April, the date is still being hammered out. I will be hosting an event in San Diego surrounding social media marketing world. So look for details on that. In June, I'll be hosting an event in Tampa, Florida, and October, I'll be hosting an event in Seattle, Washington, two places I have never been that I am very excited to visit. I am working on collaborating with the team at IAAP and hope to attend the summit this summer in Chicago this July. If there's enough interest in Central New York, I would love to host a regular meetup for administrative professionals in Syracuse. So if that's you, drop me a note and I will make it happen. And the final update I have for you in the event sphere is I am in the early stages of planning an in-person event in San Diego for Q3 or Q4. Details yet to come, but I am so excited to be spending more time on the West Coast. I'm originally from Minnesota, spent 3 years in San Diego. Now I've been in New York for 3.5 years. I miss California every single day. And I'm relishing the opportunity to come back, spend more time on the West Coast. The time zone just really agrees with me. I miss the ocean. I love palm trees. And some of my favorite restaurants are in San Diego. And I cannot wait to come back. So there is that. Shifting gears again, topic number 3. At present moment, there are 0 plans to have advertisers on Ask an Assistant. Although, that being said, if there's anybody out there listening from Steelcase, Cartier, Rolex, and or Longchamp, if you are out there listening, hit me up because I would love to work together. Like, we will figure it out. I have details. I have ideas. Trust me. I think it could be really incredible. So again, Steelcase, Cartier, Rolex, Longchamp, hit your girl up, askanassistant.com. I'd love to work with you. But that leads me to the Substack and or Patreon. Things for Patreon and Substack fell a bit off the rails in 2024. My last card party event in June hit me way harder than I was anticipating. And I am working to have better systems and processes in place for 2025 and beyond to keep a regular schedule of updates on those platforms. One of the things that I did is purchase some travel mics so I can record from literally anywhere. I've also tested a couple episodes in 2024. I recorded directly from my iPhone, which is fine. Like, the best microphone for a podcast is the microphone that you have. And if the content is good enough, people can kind of forgive some of the less than perfect audio quality that might be coming through. I will also be adding the option to support the show through Apple Podcasts, even though just 10 minutes ago I said how annoying I find Apple Podcasts. People contain multitudes, myself included. That's all I can say. And the final update I have for housekeeping this January is I would love to do more one-on-one and group coaching in 2025. So if that's something that you are interested in, something that you're looking for, I would love to chat and see if I'm a good fit for what it is that you need. Reach out to me, askanassistant.com. You can click on contact at the top of the page. I will get in touch and we'll go from there. So that's everything I've got for today. I hope 2025 has as much awesomeness on the horizon as it does for me. And until next week, as always, take care.